I'm Lorraine Sommerfeld, and this is the Lemonade Car Show. Tonight we're talking about buying and selling your car, and as always, we'll be answering all of your car-related questions. Lemonade is brought to you by OMVIC, that's Ontario's vehicle sales regulator, and we're produced by the Automobile Protection Association. The APA fights for you, the consumer, and provides information and news on all parts of the industry. Visit our website at apa.ca or reach us by phone at 416-204-1444. Joining me today is Giorgini, the president of the APA, and Jacob Black, he's senior editor at autotrader.ca. We'll also be taking your calls all evening at 800-968-7836. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Jacob, first time. Awesome. We're going to have some fun. Auto Trader, I thought perfect guest to have on. We're talking about privately buying and selling cars. People think it's easy, and then they go to do it, and they find out it's not really quite so easy. You've brought some examples with you, which we're going to put up in a moment, and I want you to go through them with us. Tell us the best thing people should do and the things they shouldn't do, and maybe some of the funniest things you've seen or haven't seen. How often do ads turn over? While they're queuing those up, how long does an ad usually run if somebody's got it, dialed in?
It really depends. I mean, what we say is, when you take on our tips, when you take these 5 tips that we're going to talk about for getting your car right, you can turn over your ad very, very quickly. If you don't stage your car right, if you haven't taken the time to get it prepared, and if you haven't priced it right, you can be there for a really, really long time. But a good rule of thumb is a few weeks.
A few weeks, and then it should be over and out.
And it's really easy. I mean, a really good ad, you could sell your car very, very quickly, and some of them we see come through and go within days, and some, like we said, can drag on.
Drag on, it means a few weekends you may have lost too.
That's right. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of reasons for people not really thinking about staging their car. I mean, I think the main reason is someone's buying a car. It's a new car for their family. They're focused on that, and they're probably not focused, as we can see here, on getting rid of the old one.
What we're seeing here, this was snow-covered car. What's the ad for?
So the ad's for a Jeep Wrangler, and if you look at that shot, there's no Jeep Wrangler anywhere near that shot. There's not much of anything in that shot. It's a lot like they've just pointed the camera outside.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that they uploaded the wrong photo and didn't bother to double check their ad before they sent it in.
You'd like to think so. I think so.
I'd like to think so.
I think for a lot of people, that selling your car process is not top of mind. That person might have been occupied by the fact that they've picked up their new car. They might have been, as they're selling that one, on their way out to pick up the new one.
So they should have been like trading in their car instead of trying to sell their car.
Maybe that could have worked for them.
Yeah.
Does it ever happen that Auto Trader will flag an ad that looks a little bit too either crazy or like maybe someone made a mistake?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a moderation team that works 7 days a week and 24 hours a day, and that team will respond to a lot of the filters that happen in the back end of our website, and we'll also rely on our community really heavily as well. We have 10 million visits per month on Auto Trader, and we're really looking to those guys as well to hit that report button.
So like those ads that say I have a valuable Mercedes in a barn, but I'm still with the Canadian military in Europe or Afghanistan and I can't come home. Can you wire me $5,000?
That's an excellent example of something that you should really walk away from. And not only walk away from it, but hit our report button, and we'll respond to that as well.
So the button was on that frame that we saw there? Is it in the...
It is. I can't off the top of my head remember where it is.
We'll wait for the next example, and so it's easy to find?
It is easy to find, yeah. And it's been added to our mobile site recently as well.
You talked about staging your car. I know one of the ads that you brought has multiple photos. Is that important to show people? It's like Match.com for your car.
It is. That's exactly like that. And I like to say that it's a lot like staging your home for sale, just without the fake plants. So,
is this a good ad?
This is a great ad. So this is a Hyundai Entourage. This is a private seller, but it's a really great example of someone selling their car like a pro, doing that 1, 2, 3 step process to get their car up. They've taken really great photos from a lot of different angles that really show off the best of that car. So they've taken that great front 3/4 shot with a background that's not ugly, but also doesn't dominate and makes the car the star. I've got great interior pics of that car. There's a scuff on the bumper of that car, and they actually talk about it in the ad and are very forthright. So everything that they've done is designed to with the seller, with the buyer in mind. This is all the information. This is everything I have for you, and that's a compelling ad.
So it's answering a lot of questions before they even come up.
That's right. Imparting that confidence. When you impart that confidence, it means that people are more likely to get in touch with you.
Are a lot of people, we talk about this all the time, about curbsiders who are turning cars over and they're not licensed or anything. And on AutoTrader, are there things I could look for? Or are there something that would say to me, wait a second, this might be one of the things that the APA is warning me about? Is there ways to differentiate for normal people? Or if someone's really good, they're really good, and you're...
We have a really great fraud protection tips section of our website on autotrader.ca, and what we say in that is to look out for some of the warning signs for someone that might not be legitimate, that might not be above board. So people that are selling a car that doesn't really look like it has any problems, but they're selling it as is a really great example of something to just be wary of and be mindful.
Most private sellers be selling as is?
Some are, and a lot are, but one of the things that we advocate, especially in this process of staging your vehicle, is having all the paperwork ready. Have your vehicle information package here in Ontario ready. Have your car certified beforehand if you can, and e-test if you can. People are impatient. They don't want to wait for those things. They want to arrive on your driveway, give you the money, and drive off in their new car. So we advocate having those things. It's a part of making sure that your ad is the most compelling and selling your car the most easily and quickly and for the best money. And so if an ad doesn't have those things, we think that it definitely will turn away buyers.
What does AutoTrader do? Like if someone is a multiple advertiser, but they're not identified as a dealer, what can you do?
That's a really great question. It's one I haven't personally experienced. I don't work directly in that moderation field, but I know that our moderators look for a variety of things, and I'm sure that that's probably in them. I can get that to you.
You know, because we had a perception at one time that the major sites were more interested in getting ads in than they were in keeping people out. So Kijiji actually used to have other cars for sale by this seller. So the guy's private, but he's got like 5 cars selling. They're not trying very hard to hide the fact that he's basically dealing off his driveway. So I think that's changing now because the regulator in Ontario is a little bit tough on curbsiding. And but really, it's a concern because obviously without the free ads, the curber's job would be a lot harder. You know, when the web made it infinitely easier to show your car to a much wider market of people, but it also made it easier for people who were doing it for a business. But not paying to be a business, and also selling junk in some cases.
What ratio do you see? You can talk in a second. I'm going to talk first because it's my show.
That wasn't very fair.
You knew that was going to happen.
Double teaming.
Are most people legit? Like if I'm going to sell my car, the kind of complaints you get in, like I know Craigslist is a nightmare, and Kijiji I tell people to stay off it, basically forget it. And they're not sitting here in that chair because I really don't have a lot of good things to say about them. Do you find that for the most part people are legitimately selling their car because they bought a new one or whatever, and that's what you attract, and that's...
AutoTrader.ca has got a really good record of working hard to make sure that buying and selling process is confident. Like the confidence is a key part of what we're trying to impart. And you can't impart that confidence without community input. You can't impart that confidence without giving people some guidance on how to sell their cars and on having oversight. And we try to have oversight on our site. So we're really comfortable. We're not comfortable, actually. We're working pretty hard to improve it consistently. But we're proud of our record of making sure that buyers and sellers alike have that platform that gives them confidence and protects them.
We're going to break in a minute, but how do I price my car? Everyone thinks their car is above average. They all think they're a better than average driver. Everyone thinks, all that stuff. How do you price your car?
My personal opinion, the best way to price your car is to go on autotrader.ca and have a look at the listings in your area. Have a look at what people are selling near you and
asking. Not selling.
Asking near you. That's a really great point.
You should have a little wiggle room too to see that number.
But yeah, have a look at what other people are looking at. There's over 400,000 cars on autotrader.ca right now. So if you want to go and have a look at people in your area and what they're selling, you'll be armed with a really healthy bit of information to set your price right.
So you can put filters in, and then you can come up with
Yeah, so
you can probably find your car.
If you've already put your ad up, you could absolutely find your car.
No, The Lemonade Car Show, brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's motor vehicle sales regulator, returns after this short break. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls, 800-968-7836.